you are ready. And
Jai.
Jai. Nikunjaras Prabhu, are we recording?
Yes, Mataji, he started.
Okay. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Natan Tam Sachivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Tansi Vishakhan Tamsha Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nami Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesh Shundavadi Pashyata Desha Dharni Namam Padaya Radhika Priyatmine Shishya Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Dinam Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namani. Everybody can repeat after me. If you have a book, you to follow that. Shiva Shavanavi Devi Daitaye Kripate Krishna Sambandha Vigyan Daine Prabhave Namah Madhuryo Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namaste Namaste Gauravari Shri Murte Dinatarine Rupanuga Virudhapa Siddhanta Dvantarine Panchakalpatarubhasya kripa sindhubhya cha patidaram bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauratishe Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hare Jayatam Surato Pangur Mama Mandavatir Gati Matsarvasya Padamboja Shishi Radha Madanamo Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpatrumada Srimad Ratnangara Simhasanasto Shishi Radha Shila Govinda Dev Rishtali Visevya Manav Smara Shriman Rasarasaram Vivam Siva Tata Sita Karshan Venu Shvanaya Gopi Gopi Mata Shri Isma Vrindaya Gopi Devaya Kesava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Pradede Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Sarupakam Bhakta Avataram Bhakta Nami Bhakti Shakti Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare everybody Hare Ram 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram
Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram
Ram Ram Hare Hare.
बोलो ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम जय श्री
जय
प्रभुपाद जय
जय
स्वामी प्रभु
जय
अनंत कोटि की जय निताय
हरि बोल
बोल हरे कृष्ण all glories are board
हरे कृष्ण हरे कृष्ण
all glories to Shri Guru Hari Gauranga all glories to
जय
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
जय
Please repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
ओम
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Narayanam Namaskritya
नारायणं
Naranchaiva Narottamam
Narottamam
Devim Sarasatim Vyasam
देवीं सरस्वतीं
Vyasam
Tato Jayam Udirayet
ततो जयमुदीरये
मुदीरयेत्
शृण्वतां स्वगत कृष्ण
शृण्वतां तं
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन
पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः
हृदयन्तस्थो यभद्राणि
हृदयस्थ अभद्राणि
विदुनोति सुहृत्सताम्
विदुनोति सुतसताम्
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु
नित्यं भगवत सेवया
नित्यं भगवत सेवया
भगवति उत्तमश्लोके
भगवते उत्तमश्लोके
भवति नैष्ठिकी
भक्तिर्भवति
भवति
नैष्ठिकी
नैष्टिके
So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter 15, titled Instructions for Civilized Human Beings. And today's is 45th verse. We'll just go one more time, the previous verse. 43 and 44, I'm only going to read the translation. In the conditioned stage, one's conception of life are sometimes polluted by passion and ignorance, which are exhibited by attachment, hostility, greed, lamentation, illusion, fear, madness, false prestige, insults, fault finding, deception, envy, intolerance, passion, bewilderment, hunger, and sleep. All of these are enemies. Sometimes one's conceptions are also polluted by goodness. The purport of this particular verse is the actual aim of life is to go back home, back to God. But there are many hindrances created by the three modes of nature, sometimes by a combination of Rajaguna and Tamaguna, the mode of ignorance and passion, and sometimes by the mode of goodness. In the material world, even if one is a philanthropist, a nationalist, and a good man, according to material estimation, these conceptions of life form a hindrance to spiritual advancement. How much more of a hindrance then are hostility, greed, illusion, lamentation, and too much attachment to material enjoyment. To progress towards the target of Vishnu, which is our real interest, one must become very powerful in conquering these various hindrances or enemies. In other words, one should not be attached to being a good man or a bad man in this material world. In this material world, so-called goodness and badness are the same because they consist of the three modes of material nature. One must transcend this material nature. Even the Vedic ritualistic ceremonies consist of the three modes of material nature. Therefore, Krishna advised Arjuna, Traigunya Vishaya Veda, Nishtraigunya Bhavarjuna, Nirdandva Nitya Sattvasto, Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. The Vedas mainly deal with the subject of the three modes of material nature. Rise above these modes, O Arjuna, be transcendent to all of them. Be free from dualities and from all anxieties for gain and safety, and be established in the self. Elsewhere, the Bhagavad Gita, the Lord says, Urdham Gachanti Sattvastha. If one becomes a very good person, in other words, if one is in the mode of goodness, he may be elevated to the higher planetary systems. Similarly, if one is infected by Rajaguna and Tamaguna, he may remain in this world or go down to the animal kingdom. But all these situations are hindrances on the path of the spiritual salvation. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Brahmanda Brahmita Kodevan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasad Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. If one is fortunate enough to transcend all this so-called goodness, badness, and come to the spiritual platform of devotional service, by the mercy of Krishna and the Guru, his life becomes successful. In this regard, one must be very bold so that he can conquer these enemies of Krishna consciousness. Not caring for the good and bad of this material world, one must boldly propagate Krishna consciousness. So this gives you a summary of of this prayer verse which we are going to start reading today. So it's very clearly mentioned that we should not try to be good or bad in this material world. Both are entanglement because all these qualities are contaminated by the three modes of nature. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. So if you're trying to be a good man, you become entangled. You give charity to some cause, some good cause here, there. You'll become all entangled. And you have to bear the reactions for that. And you have to enjoy or suffer the reactions accordingly. Therefore, whatever we got, that Krishna says, Yat karoti, yat dashnasi, dajosyat, whatever you eat, whatever you give away as charity, whatever you do, everything should be done as an offering unto me. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that very clearly. Therefore, one should do everything on the transcendental platform. We have a tendency to eat, then cook nicely for the pleasure, the transcendental pleasure of the Lord, and offer that with love and devotion, the tulsi leaf on it, and pray to Krishna to accept this humble offering, and then take the remnants. Generally, when you offer, don't just put the plate and then in 2 minutes take out. No, you can sing a nice song, an appropriate song. Bhaja Bhakata Vatsala Sri Gora Hari or Jaya Radha Madhav. So many songs are there. Because Krishna also like to be entertained. Like when we eat or do something, we like to play a background music, something. So do it like that. And that way what happens, all our activities will become upgraded to transcendental platform. That is the safest platform. Everything, whatever we speak, Jarida ko tare kaho Krishna upadesh, hamara guru hai tara e desh. Whomever you meet, whomever you see, you talk about Krishna, explain to them. And this way you become a guru, natural guru. Not necessarily you are having any disciples, but you are a natural guru. So this is the sum and substance of the previous verse. That's why it is said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's verse is quoted. Brahmanda Brahmita Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasadi Pai Bhakti Latavich. The wandering soul in billions of universes and billions of souls are running around all over the place. And if such soul, a very rare Bhagyavan, gets the mercy of Krishna and Guru and Krishna, and a seed of bhakti is planted in his heart, is very, very, very fortunate. Not everybody goes through such things. Most of the people are just wandering around, bewildered by the illusory energy. That's why we made our choice. We saw Maya Devi showing her beautiful features and activities. We decided, because we are in the Tatastha, we decided, oh, that is not bad. Like we see a movie, oh, that is not a bad movie. It is a patriotic, it is this, it is that, and we end up enjoying the movie and we get entangled. So we made a choice like that from the Tatastha platform. And many souls, they have accumulated enough piety. They stay in the Satya Loka and all. When Brahma goes back home, they also go back to God. But some of the souls, they stay in the material world. So this one has to understand these things very clearly. So let us read text 45. Please repeat after me. Javan
Java
Kaya Ratam
Gataram
Atma
Atma
Vashopakalam
Vasopakalam
Datte
Tate
Garishta
Karista
Charanara Tanujanaya
Tunarjanaya
Nishatam
Nishatam
Janashim
Janasim
Achyuto
Achyuto
Balo
Palo
Dada
Dada
Ashtashatruhu
Dastashatru
Swananda
Svananda
Tushta
Tushta
Upashanta
Upashanta
Idam
Ida
Vijayat.
Vijayata.
Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. As long as one has to accept a material body with its different parts and paraphernalia, which are not fully under one's control, one must have the lotus feet of his superior, namely his spiritual master and the spiritual master's predecessors. By their mercy, one can sharpen the sword of knowledge, and with the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's mercy, one must then conquer the enemies mentioned above. In this way, the devotee should be able to merge into his own transcendental bliss, and then he may give up his body and resume his spiritual identity. Beautiful. Please repeat after me. As long as one has to accept a material body,
As long as
Because one has to accept the material body
with its different parts and paraphernalia,
with this
and its different parts and paraphernalia,
which are not fully under one's control,
which are not fully under one's control,
one must have the lotus feet of his spiritual superiors,
one must have the lotus feet of one's superiors,
namely his spiritual master and the spiritual master's predecessors.
namely the spiritual master and spiritual master's predecessors.
By their mercy,
By their mercy,
one can sharpen the sword of knowledge,
one can sharpen the sword of knowledge,
and with the power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead's mercy,
and with the power of the Supreme Godhead's mercy,
one must then conquer the enemies mentioned above.
one must conquer the enemies as mentioned above.
In this way, the devotee
in this
In
way
this way, the devotees
should be able to merge into his own transcendental bliss,
should
should be able to merge into his own transcendental bliss.
and then he may give up his body
and then he may give up his body
and resume his spiritual identity.
and
And resume his spiritual identity.
Purport by Srila Prabhupada. In the Bhagavad Gita, the 4:9, the Lord says, Janma karma cha me divam yevam yo veti tatvata tektva deham punar janma naiti ma veti suarjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving this body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode. O Arjuna, this is the highest perfection of life, and the human body is meant for the purpose. It is said in the Srimad Bhagvatam, 11th canto, 20th chapter, verse 17. Nateham ad. Anybody want to say something? Okay. Nateham adya sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam guru karnadharam mayanukaulena navasva teritam Uman Bhavabdim na taret sa atmaha. This human form of body is the most valuable boat. And the spiritual master is the captain, Guru Karnadharam, to guide the boat in flying across the ocean of nations. The instruction of Krishna is a favorable breeze. One must use all these facilities to cross over the ocean of the nations. Since the spiritual master is the captain, one must serve the spiritual master very sincerely, so that by his mercy one will be able to get the mercy of the Supreme Lord. Very significant verse. A significant word here is Achyutta Bala. The spiritual master is certainly very merciful to his disciple, and consequently, by satisfying him, a devotee gets the strength from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore says, Guru Krishna Prasade Paya Bhakti Lata Pich. One must first please the spiritual master, and then one automatically pleases Krishna and gets the strength with which to cross the ocean of nations. If one seriously desires to return home back to Godhead, one must therefore become strong enough by pleasing the spiritual master. For thus one gets the weapon with which to conquer the enemy, and one also gets the grace of Krishna. Simply getting the weapon of jnana is insufficient. one must sharpen the weapon by serving the spiritual master and adhering to his instructions. Then the candidate will get the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In general warfare, one must take the help from his chariot and horses in order to conquer his enemy. And after conquering his enemy, he may give up the chariot and its paraphernalia. Similarly, as long as one has a human body, one should fully use it to obtain the highest perfection of life, namely going back to God. So we'll stop at this point just for the sake of expression. So now we see beautiful words which gives us a clear idea. We need to have this bala, achutta bala. Elsewhere also it is mentioned the entities who are staying in the spiritual world, they have also bala. And that bala by which they never fall down into the material world. They never come to the material world. They don't even have an idea that the material world is existing. This is explained by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his Jaiva Dharma. And the living entities in this material world, they are bewildered so much, they think the strength is to get money, home, wife, children, money, a big job, this and that. They are in a very weak position, and they have no sense that they have to go back home, back to God. They will not have any sense like that. And rather, they will become more and more weak and entangled. And these living entities in the material world, they have no idea that there's a spiritual world exists. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says very clearly, the living entity in the Goloka Vrindavan, they are appearing from Baladev. And the living entities in the Vaikuntha planet, they appear from Mahashankar. Whereas the living entities, they appear in the material world from Mahavishnu. Therefore, Mahavishnu is the Tadastha. Therefore, we have to become strong. Satbala, it's called. The living entities, they live in the spiritual world with Satbala. Everybody lives like we are walking on the street. We're able to walk because there's some sort of an inner strength is there. Everybody has this strength. Even if we run, we feel very confident we can run. Sometimes we may fall, but we'll have the determination to get up and again run, to catch a bus or whatever. But this strength is there. And this ability is coming actually from Paramatma. But the living entity does not know that this strength is coming from a superior source. And because we don't even have an idea that we are spirit soul, Bhumira ponalo vayu kammano buddhireva cha ahankaram ityame binna prakriti asita. Because we are operating on the basis of binna prakriti, separated material elements. This Bhumira ponalo vayu kammano buddhireva cha ahankaram ityame binna. All these 5 gross and subtle elements and the mind, intelligence and false ego, they are all Binna Prakriti. If you are influenced by that, you will start seeing the material world separate from the spiritual world or Krishna. So this, we have to go beyond this level to understand we are soul. That is the speciality of human form of life. Atato Brahma Jikyasa. And then if we get the mercy of a pure devotee, then we will understand we are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna says, Bhumira, Mamai Vamsa Jiva Loka Jiva Bhuta Sanatana, Manashasthani Indriyani Prakriti Sthani Krishna. Very clearly, Krishna is explaining all these things. But not everybody in the world knows about this. Very few rare souls who are pious enough, who have enough bhakti unmukha sukriti, they will click to this aspect of spiritual life or this aspect of life itself. Most of the time, we are just going on because we go where the herd goes. Oh, everybody is going to America to make money. Oh, let us all go. But now the situations are changing slowly. No more visas, this, that. Some crazy guy sitting as a president and he's talking something, and everybody is in anxiety. You see, Go where the herd goes. Everybody is going to university, let us also go to university. And what are they teaching? We never ask anything like that. Because it's called group dynamics. The whole material world runs on this basis. Whether it's the right thing or wrong thing, we don't even think about it. Oh, everybody is doing it, must be right then. But actually, those who are fortunate, they will get the mercy of Guru and Krishna. They will know you are not this body, you are actually a spirit soul, and you are part and parcel of Krishna. Duty is to engage whatever body you have, whatever mind you have, what wealth you have, everything in Krishna's service, because he is Rishikena Sevanam Bhakti Ruchati. This is called Bhakti. Engaging our senses in the service of the Master. We don't own this sense. We don't own this body. This body is owned by Krishna. It is Krishna's property, not our property. But right now we are thinking it is our property. Oh, my hand, my this, my that. No, it is Krishna's hand actually. Your intelligence is Krishna's intelligence. But that feeling comes when we actually get connected to Krishna through a bona fide spiritual master. Everybody requires a spiritual master. Just like every woman, they love children. This is something natural for a woman to have children. But you cannot get child unless you get married. You have a proper husband who can impregnate. If they are doing Garbhodan samskar, if they are doing wild American style, anybody can have child from anybody, and all Varna Shankaras, unwanted population. They are like living entities who are bewildered by the material nature. So therefore, one has to get the mercy of Guru. Without Guru, the human form of life doesn't exist. It is animal life. Simply like we go to university, what do? We get a job. What do we do with the result of whatever we produce? It is engaged in eating, sleeping, mating, and depending. Nobody thinks, wow, this is Krishna has given me money. This is Krishna's money. Let me engage in Krishna's service. I had the good fortune when I was making money. At one point, I was going through a certain stage of life. I got my salary. I first gave that, I saw some of my colleagues, they would send 5 or 10 rupees of the salary to Tirupati Balaji. And from Tirupati, there's a little small packet of laddu and chandan and tulsi leaves come by post. So they would give it to all the colleagues, and I also got some. Then I also thought, maybe I should also do this. So whenever I got salary, I would go to the post office and I would write in those days you have to write, fill a money order. And I would send 5 rupees. It is not so much. 400 rupees salary, 5, 10 rupees is nothing. I did for 2 or 3 times. And immediately the internal intelligence awakened. And I read one Bhagavad Gita, I did not understand, but then I read Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, so many things happened. And then they told me about becoming a life member. I said, yes, I will become. So out of 400 rupees, when I was giving 5 to 10 rupees, I started giving 100 rupees every month. 1/4 of the salary. Because they gave me so many books, I thought this is wonderful. I read the books, so many things. Every month when I salary I get, I would go to the temple and give my next installment. And those days was 1111. Only business people would become member, but I was not a businessman. I was a simple middle class person. But I was having the strength to give 100 rupees. They were ready to accept that. So this way, you actually start making progress. Chit Bala will start coming. Then you are determined, you are happy with the devotees association. You every day evening you go to the Aarti and discuss with devotees the philosophy of Krishna consciousness. And this is how we made progress. I'm sure all of you must have gone through some similar situations. At one point, we have to take a step. Well, I gave up my so-called material friends who were from my childhood. We were all classmates. But I had to make the choice. What do I want? I decided this is nice, associating with devotees. There's something valuable to discuss, meditate on. With our friends, it was small time talk, Adda banana bolte na. You make a place to hang around with somebody or speak in small time. अरे चाय पीने के बोलते, चाय पीते रहते बस, घंटा देर बात करते रहते, कुछ फायदा ही नहीं है, उसका कुछ वैल्यू नहीं है. It has no value whatsoever. But after coming in contact with devotees, oh, the life becomes so valuable and so pleasant on top of it, that we'll read these books and we'll discuss philosophy and upgrade and enhance and enliven ourselves by taking an active principle of surrendering to Guru and Krishna. All these things are very important stages. So next, let's continue. The purport is a very long purport. The perfection of knowledge is certainly to become transcendentally situated. Brahma Bhuta. As the Lord says in the Bhagavad Gita 1854, Brahma Bhuta Prasannatmana Sachati Nakanchati Samasavish Bhuteshul Mad Bhaktim Lavate Param. One who is transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed towards all living entities. In that state, he attains pure devotional service. Simply by cultivating as the impersonalists do, one cannot get out of the clutches of Maya. One must attain the platform of bhakti. Bhaktya mam abhijanati javan yaschasmi tatvata tato mam tatvato jnatva vishate tad anantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as he is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Unless one has attained the stage of devotional service and the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, there is a possibility that one may fall down again and again accept a material body. The body becomes material as soon as you engage it in Krishna's sense gratification, something independent of Krishna. And it becomes spiritual as soon as you engage the body, mind, senses, intelligence, everything in Krishna's service. So the Maya is like, what is this wonderful verse? Maya and Krishna. Krishna is light, Maya is darkness, shadow. Shadow and darkness are next to each other. They are not miles apart. So whether we are Krishna conscious or not Krishna conscious, shown with our mentality what we create. Every moment we can decide whether it is Krishna's service or not Krishna's service. And sometimes we are attached to old little material habits, so we end up doing some things. But very soon we should bring back the mind in Krishna's service by the process of chant. Unless one has attained the stage of devotional service, the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, there is a possibility that one may fall down and again accept. Krishna stresses in the Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma chame divyam yevam yoveti tattva tattva deham punarjanmana iti mam. This verse was quoted even in the last verse also. It started the purport like that. Janma karma chame. It started from this particular verse purport. Same thing again, Prabhupada mentions that. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode over. The word tattvata means in reality is very important. Tato ma tattvato jnatva. Unless one understands Krishna in truth by the mercy of the spiritual master, one is not free to give up his material body. As it is said, Aruya Krichena Parama Padam Tata Patantyado Anadrita Yusmad Angraya. If one neglects to serve the lotus feet of Krishna, one cannot become free from the material desires, material clutches, simply by knowledge. Even if one attains the stage of Brahma Bhuta, merging in Brahman, without bhakti, is prone to fall down. One must be very careful in regard to the danger of falling down again into the material bondage. The only insurance the only insurance is to come to the stage of bhakti, from which one is sure not to fall. Then one is free from the activities of the material world. In summary, as stated by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, one must get in touch with a bona fide spiritual master coming in the parampara of Krishna consciousness. For by his mercy and instruction, one is able to get strength from Krishna. Thus, one engages in devotional service and attains the ultimate goal of life, the lotus feet of Krishna. So it is said, the strength is from Krishna. See, Krishna is, as a Paramatma, is quite neutral to all living entities, because they have only one desire, to fulfill their sense gratification. So Krishna just fulfills their desires, whatever according to their karma. But as soon as one comes to the point of rendering bhakti under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master, then Krishna takes particular interest in that devotee, and he gives all feedback all the time, 24 hours, instructs from within and without, everywhere. So this is very important. We have to keep that connection with Krishna all the time by chanting the holy name of the Lord. Significant in this verse are the Jnanasim Achyuta Bala. Jnanasim, the sword of knowledge, is given by Krishna. And when one serves the Guru and Krishna in order to hold the sword of Krishna's instruction, Balaram gives one strength. See, this is called Balaram. We are emanating from Balaram, so he gives the strength. Balaram is Nityananda. Vrajendra Nandana Shai Sachi Suta Hoila Se. Balarama Hoilo Nitai. This Balaram comes with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and both of them are so merciful that in this age of Kali, one may be very easily take shelter of their lotus feet. They come especially to deliver the fallen souls of this age. Papi Tapi Jata Chila Harinama Udarina. Their weapon is Sankirtan, Harinam. Thus, one should accept the sword of knowledge from Krishna and be strong with the mercy of Balaram. That is called Chid Bala. We are therefore worshipping Krishna Balaram in Vrindavan. In the Mundaka Upanishad 3-4, it is said, Nayam Atma Bala Hinena Labhyo Nacha Pramadat Tapaso Vapi Alingat Etar Upayar Yatate Yastu Vidvams Tasyaiva Atma Vishate Brahma Dharma Brahma Dhama. One cannot attain the goal of life without the mercy of Balaram. Sri Narottam Das therefore says, Tayera Karuna Hoibe Braje Radha Krishna Pavi. When one receives the mercy of Balaram, Nityananda, one can attain the lotus feet of Radha and Krishna very easily. Say Sambandha Nahi Jar Prita Janma Kelotar Vidya Kule Hi Garibe Tar. If one has no connection with Nitai, Balaram, then even though one is a very learned scholar or Jnani or has taken birth in a very respectful family, these assets will not help him. We must therefore conquer the enemies of Krishna consciousness with the strength received from Balaram. That is called Chit Bala. That's how the living entities in the spiritual world, they live there. They have strength, natural strength. Their focus is always towards Krishna. Okay, right now our focus is all scattered. We are interested in house, this, that, so many things. It is going everywhere. The advertisements are coming. Amazon is sending you advertisements. Buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. There is no end to it. And therefore our intelligence is scattered. It's not Vyavasayatika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana. It is not one-pointed intelligence. Because that one-pointed intelligence comes by what? By carrying out the order of the Guru. Vyavasayatika Buddhi, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, this is possible when one takes the order of the Guru as one's life and soul. That's why Prabhupada was successful. He took the order of his Guru as his life's goal. That's all. So many people came also before that. They also took the order of the Guru to some degree. But the faith factor of Prabhupada was super strong. He was instrumental. And some of them have referred to him as Senapati Bhakta. He was a very special soul. He came to fulfill the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshata. He wrote so many books. Prabhupada was not a big author before. He took a preaching book. Maybe one article here in a small book, Easy Journey to Other Planets, and things like that. But as soon as he started preaching and taking up the mission of his guru, he became empowered to write all these books in such a short time. Within 12 years of preaching, he finished so many books. And he wanted to do many more books. Jaiva Dharma was one of his books. And, even the Jiva Goswamis, Bhakti Sandarbhas, they were all part of his program, but it did not happen. Krishna has his own plan. So we have to see, these are all the instructions for civilized human beings. We are meant to be civilized. But our present day society, the way they give the education, is exploiting to the maximum degree. And we are living in fear of these crazy leaders also. Every day the laws are changing. They want to do this, they want to do that. So we have to live in spiritual strength. That spiritual strength comes from following the order of the Guru. A woman becomes happy when she's serving the husband, and then due to that serving and giving pleasure, you get children, bestowed with the children. And then they make a team. But the husband must be strong enough to take the dependents, the wife and children, back home, back to God. Otherwise, it's mentioned in the Shastra, one should not become father, mother, or anything like that, a guru or a brahmana, unless one is able to take the dependents from the cycle of birth and death and take them back home, back to God. So I stop at this point. If there are any questions or comments, please ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. This is Geeta. Yes, Prabhuji, I keep asking this question to myself, and I'm also. So, Prabhuji,
Somebody is talking in the middle. Yes, go ahead. Please, Geeta.
So Prabhuji, like you said, like friends and all, they talk, we meet them, and the real. What I'm trying to ask you is I'm at that juncture where I want to give up a lot of relationships, but it is difficult because I, lived a life of so many years with them, and it's one, and so much time gets wasted,
Yeah.
I don't want to say, I have moved in a different direction. It's not their fault. But I don't know how to do it, Prabhuji.
You just give them prasadam. That's all. Whenever you meet them, give them some prasadam and, discuss about, the goal of life. Life is meant for something more than just eating, sleeping, waiting, and depending. Small things. You invite them to your house. Whenever you invite a devotee to come to your house for a preaching program, you invite them. So let them get exposed to Krishna conscious philosophy and Krishna conscious point of view, perspective of life, and give them prasadam. That's all. At your level, you just do these things.
So, Prabhuji, was it difficult for you to give up your relationships?
Not at all, by Krishna's grace.
Especially when they are what about family?
Family also, I just gave up my home and everything, and I moved into the temple. House was very comfortable, but there was no divorce or parents arguing or fighting. None of this craziness was going on, unlike in the West. So I just left. I decided this is what I should be doing, and that part of it was not fulfilled. by the parents because they were more interested in seeing that we go to college, university, this and that. And it did not satisfy me. But this is Krishna's mercy. Kona Bhagyavan. I was Bhagyavan. That's all I can say about it. I got the strength, and immediately, in a matter of days, I shifted. I resigned from my job, and and I started doing service, devotional service. And then I started chanting, living in this temple. It was austere life in the temple. It was very new. It's a small, like a thatched roof, in the middle of Hyderabad city. Tin roof. We were managed. Rain was coming, water was pouring into the brahmachari ashram.
So this
But we did not.
prasadam you're talking is from the temple or from making at home and lagaing bhoga?
1 minute. Please repeat what was your point?
You said na give them prasadam, right? So this
Yes,
prasadam
yes.
is from the temple or the food we cook and we offer it to the Lord?
You can also give from the temple, or you can also offer something nice to the Lord in the home. And whenever you go out of the home, you always carry some prasadam with you. So even when you part, after talking a few minutes about common subject matter, yeah, I have something nice for you. Here's some prasadam, some cut fruits, or some sweets, or whatever it is, some salty preparations. If you make at home, see, after all, as a mother, you should be enthusiastic in making something nice in the house for the pleasure of the Lord. Or when you go to the temple, you get some Mahaprasad, you can also give them. Both you can give.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Padmini Radha Devidasi. I don't have a question, but I just wanted to appreciate your class. And, what stuck with me from this class, you said something at the very beginning of the class where you said that, when we are honoring Prasad, we feel like we like to be entertained, right? We watch TV sometimes or we talk to people. And I that really struck with me because it was such a beautiful thing that you said that we should sing for Krishna or uh, um, things like that, like sing a bhajan. So I have never thought about it that way because I when you said that, it struck to me that sometimes uh, we don't, when it comes to showing your love towards Krishna, we think of him as a supreme personality,
Somebody is
right? So
asking
we
the
don't
question.
think about we don't think about doing simple things that we do for ourselves because we think, oh, he's the supreme boss. He doesn't need any of this. But
Yeah. I mean, it's a question of when you know Krishna is God, like Prahlad Maharaj. I'll give you the example of Prahlad Maharaj. Prahlad Maharaj was a great devotee of the Lord. The Lord came personally to protect him. Now, Narsingadev was very angry after killing Hiranyakashipu. But Prahlad Maharaj could not offer even a cup of water to Narsingadev to pacify him. Rather, he was offering some prayers. Therefore, according to Sanatana Goswami in Bhagavatam, he is called Jnana Mishra Bhakta because he had too much knowledge that God is great, he is self-sufficient, he doesn't need anything from us, including water.
oh,
You got my point?
yes, thank you, bro.
It's not that he's so self-sufficient, he doesn't need anything from us, then what are we going to do? He says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, you offer me with love.
Correct.
So too much thinking that Krishna is God and is self-sufficient, he doesn't need anything, then what are we going to do?
Right.
So therefore, Sanatana Goswami has categorized Prahlad Maharaj as Jnana Mishra Bhakta. Before that, Dhruva Maharaj is a Karma Mishra Bhakta. And Ambarish Maharaj was the Shuddha Bhakta.
Mm.
Then above Ambarish Maharaj is Premi Bhakta, Hanuman. And then comes the Pandavas, still higher. And then Uddhava. Uddhava? No. Vidura, what is his name? The right-hand man of Krishna. Vidura
Arjuna.
or Uddhava?
Arjun,
Uddhava.
Arjun.
Arjun?
No, not Arjun.
Uddhava
Who's
Prabhuji.
Uddhava, I think. Uddhava.
Yes.
Who stays in what is this? In Dwaraka with
Yes.
Krishna.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
His,
So that
his, yeah, so
Uddhava, from his mouth came, the gopis are the highest devotees. When he saw Radharani going mad in the Brahma Gita, and how the parents of Krishna, Nanda Baba and Yashoda and other gopis, he couldn't believe that such a level even exists, because he was trying to pacify Krishna by giving him Brahma Gyan in Mathura. Because Krishna was lamenting about the Brajavasis, and they said, "Why are you lamenting? Don't lament. We are not this body. We are spirit, soul, this and that." So Krishna could see this Uddhava, my devotee. He has no idea what love means. So then he said, next day he told Uddhava, "Can you pass a message? Go to Vrindavan, pacify my parents, and pass this message to the gopis, this and that." He purposely sent him to Vrindavan, so that he will get an idea what transcendental love means. He did not have that until he went to Vrindavan.
Mm.
Although he was a great devotee, he's an associate of Krishna.
Right.
So,
And when you said that, I was thinking, and that's what the mood of everyone in Vrindavan is also, right?
yes,
When Krishna was little, be it Govardhan pastime where the villagers are holding the mountain with the stick because they think that, oh, Krishna cannot do
yes,
that because he's just a 7-year-old.
uh,
So yeah,
exactly,
thank you so much, Prabhu.
exactly. But that is also a platform of love. When
Right.
transcendental love comes, when prema comes, and there are prema is also different categories. Man, prema has a sneham, man, pranaya, bhav, and there's so many levels. Up to Mahabhav it goes.
Right.
There's a different level. There's some are only limited to Radharani, but other devotees have other levels. So, we only talk about Krishna prema, but what type of prema? That one has to associate, one has to have the good fortune of associating with an elevated devotee. Reading books alone will not come. That books has to be presented by a pure devotee.
Mm.
Otherwise, one can read books, but that will not bring it. Like when you read your school books without going to the school, what will you learn?
Right.
You have to have a personal guidance all the time, because that's why bhakti is called anugatya mai. You are always executing devotional service under the guidance. Even in our family life, it's like that. That the husband is there, the mother is there, wife is there, and then they have children. Everybody is under guidance. Sometimes I would express my mother, "Oh, you did not make this particular dish for a long time." So immediately she would make, even with my wife also. When did we last time made a curry leaf soup? You didn't make at all. So next day she makes it ready. It's under guidance. Because we have so much curry leaf trees, 2 big trees are there. I said, you should make some curry leaf powder so that you can sprinkle on the rice and put some hot ghee and then take it as an hors d'oeuvres, appetizer. So like that, bhakti is always under guidance, never independently thinking about some idea of doing something. But within that bhakti, like if you want to make a curry leaf soup, even though you're taught, the cook will have his personal flavor in that also. That is his independence.
Right.
That freedom is given. That freedom is given.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Yes.
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all good, Sister Prabhupada. It was such a nice, a long time, able to see you after a long time. It was so nice. to be in have your darshan and association. It was such a nice class. I have two quick questions. One first would be like about guru. Is first talks about the guru. I mean, what I understand is Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Guru Deva kripa bindu diya karo edase trinapekha pati hina. That is,
Correct.
Guru Dev, make me, give me your mercy and make me lower than the grass. That means the
Yeah.
Guru's primary thing is to crush the pride, crush the ego, false ego of the disciple.
Yes.
But nowadays we are seeing, I mean, that kind of lion personality is missing. I mean, who will be able to crush? Because we are all, most of us are in the Rajagun. Some are even Tomagun also. So unless we chastise, unless that empowering pressure is there, our ego will not go. Our this thing will keep on sticking to us. I mean, this. So
There,
Bhakti
nowadays
Siddhanta.
it's all positive thinking. Everything has to be always what is it called that word in English?
Affirmations. Affirmations.
Affirmation, and another word is there, sympathetic. You know, everybody wants all this by flattering things. In my case, the first meeting I had with Prabhupada, and I thought I really got a question together, and I said, Prabhupada, I have a question. And I asked this question: how did Brahma understood the meaning of the word tapa, where nothing was created, including Sanskrit? I thought now I will be pleasing him because I read it in the Bhagvatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you ask an intelligent question, the Guru is pleased, he will bestow his mercy. So my idea was to get the mercy. So, but I had no questions, but I took 1 year to figure out a question to ask Prabhupada. I finally asked Prabhupada. And then there was a quietness in the whole room. Then Prabhupada turned to me. Don't think Krishna doesn't know what he's doing, and don't ask such stupid questions. That was my first meeting. My mind was blown off. What did I do? I tried to only please him, but that was his mercy. I wanted the mercy, and I got the mercy. It took many years to understand that also. So the Guru's mercy, the Guru means always chastising the disciple, not flattering the disciple. Oh, very nice of you. Empathic is the word.
Empathetic. Yeah.
Empathetic. So this is not Guru. Nowadays you have to do all these things because otherwise the disciple will run away. So previous Prabhupada was detached. He didn't care whether I remained or not remained. Or I also never thought, well, he's not my Guru because he doesn't understand my mind. No, I just kept quiet. And there were many incidences like this happened, different instances, and I was always chastised. I thought, oh no, I should not go too close to Prabhupada because I'm always asking something so stupid or doing something stupid. So in front of a great personality like that, you become nervous and you end up doing something strange. And I get chastised. I got chastised many, many times by Prabhupada. So that is the mercy I got. So the point is, people don't want to be trained up. If you are to be trained up, you know, I've seen my carpenter and all these people are working with us. They have an assistant. The main mystery will tell the assistant, do this, do this, do this. And they have to do. Otherwise, they have to repeat the work, and he will not pay extra money for that. So everybody is being a subservient boss or a master.
Yeah,
you have
but
to have that.
My point was that nowadays we are lacking that I mean, we are not seeing those lion gurus like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur or Prabhupada who would be able to chastise and instill that I mean change of guna. That is by chastisement, and he will be able to pull the the disciple from Rajaguna to Sataguna. That kind of personal. I mean this thing is missing. I mean that kind of situation. I mean.
But are we also qualified disciples to take that type of training?
Yeah.
We want to little attachments, this and that, live in a comfortable zone, comfy zone as they call it. We don't want to take the risk. Prabhupada's time, they would get instruction, go to England, go here, go there, start a temple and preach and distribute, arrange programs. It was a challenge, but it was a great fun to do something on behalf of, as a servant of Prabhupada. We had that good fortune. It could be more such things, but whatever we got it. So therefore, we have to be ready to. We should be ready to sacrifice. Not everybody. They were regular visitors were coming to the temple when they would meet Prabhupada. Prabhupada was very nice and polite to them. But those who have surrendered, he chastised them.
Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji, yeah, it's correct. I mean, qualification matters, level of surrender matters.
Yeah. But we are playing the game, and Prabhupada also, Guru also plays the game, Krishna also plays the game.
Yeah.
Ye tamam prabhadyante tam sataiva bhajami.
Yeah.
Why should Krishna see that?
Yeah.
Any other question?
Yeah, Prabhuji, I wanted to ask you, how is Uddhav Gita different from the other Gita, the Bhagavad Gita?
Oh yeah, there are so many translations are there by Mayavadis and politicians and this and that. The words may look very similar, but the intention is quite different. And not how many people became devotees of Krishna. That is the proof. Prabhupada's Gita.
Question is that Uddhava Gita, the difference between Uddhava Gita and Bhagavad Gita.
The difference between Uddhav Gita and Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, Uddhava Gita is a special instruction which Krishna gave to Uddhava, and Uddhava gave it to somebody else also. That's called Uddhava Gita. But Bhagavad Gita is very famous. That's meant for all living entities. Uddhava Gita is actually a little bit more advanced in the sense after one surrenders, then that becomes more applicable.
So, Prabhuji, you said that Uddhav level of prema or bhakti was higher than Hanumanji. Did you say that?
Yeah, he is one of the topmost devotees. Hanuman, Arjuna, the Pandavas, and then comes Uddhava. Uddhava had very great affection for Krishna, and he looked like Krishna. Krishna will never do anything without consulting Uddhava. So he had he was an eternal associate of the Lord. But he had to also go to Braj to learn what is the meaning of love, pure love.
Yeah.
And he went to, then everything changed in his life also. That's why he said, let me be born in Braj as blades of grass. And then the gopis, while doing the day-to-day task of collecting cow dung or milking the cow or selling the yogurt or whatever it is, they will step their feet on top of my head. This was the prayer. That was his desire. So even now, if you go to Uddhava Kund in a parikrama of Giriraj Govardhan, all the grass is all Uddhava.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Vamsi Vilas Prabhu, how are you doing?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yes. Neeta Patel, any other questions you have? So we'll stop at this point and we'll do a small bhajan. Okay? Jaya Radha Madhava Javihari. Everybody.
Jaya Radha Madhava
Kunja
Hari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Javihari.
Jai Rama Kunja Bihari
Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivarada.
Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha
Hari.
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरदा
जय
जय
गोपी
गोपीजवल्लभ
Giridhara.
गिरिजाधारि
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन
Yashodanandana Vrajajanandana.
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन
Yashodanandana Vrajajanandana.
यमुना तीरा मनचारि
यमुना
Yamuna
तीरा
नमस्कार
चारि
यमुना तीरा मनचारि
चारि
जय राधा माधव रविया
Jaya
रामाधव
Kunja
कुञ्ज
Bihari.
विहारी
जय राधा माधव रविहारी
जय
Jai
राधा
Madhava
कुञ्ज
Bihari.
गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरदा
Jaya Gopi
गोपीजनवल्लभ
Chanavallabha.
जय सुदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन
Yashodanandana
व्रज
Vrajajana Ranjana.
यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन
यशोदानन्दन व्रज
जमुना तीरा मनचारि
Yamunatira.
यमुना तीरा मनचारि
Yamunatira.
चारि
जय राधा माधव
कुञ्ज
रविया
बिहारी
जय
Radha Madhava
कुंज
Kunja
कुञ्ज
बिहारी
Bihari.
बिहारी
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे हरे
Hare
हरे
Rama,
राधा
Hare
हरे राधा
Rama,
राधा
Rama
राधा
Rama,
हरे
Hare
हरे
Hare.
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
हरे
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
Krishna,
हरे कृष्णा
Krishna,
कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्णा
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
हरे
Hare, Hare
हरे राम
Rama,
हरे
Hare
राम राम राम
Rama,
हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण
Krishna
कृष्णा
Krishna,
हरे
Hare
हरे
Hare
हरे राम
Rama,
हरे राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur, Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaur.
Jaya Nitai, Jaya Gaura,
Hari
Jaya
Jaya
Jaya Gaura.
Jaya Radha Raman, Jaya Radha Raman, Radha Raman, Jaya Radhe.
Jaya
Radha
Radha
Jaya Radha Raman, Jaya Radha Jaya Radha.
Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari
Hari
Bol.
Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Srila Prabhupada, Jai Shri
Jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai.
Grantaraj.
Jai.
Jai.
His Grace Ram Shuddha Prabhu ji ki jai.
Ki jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhu ji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Bhagvatam ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare
Pancha
Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Patitanam Pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo,
Sarvebhyo
Namo
namo namaha.
ki
Hare
jai.
Krishna.
Jai.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagvatam ki jai, Srila
Jai.
Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta
Jai.
Jai.
Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai,
Jai.
Jai.
His Grace Ram Shuddha
There's a
Prabhu
good
ki
news.
jai.
Jai.
For
Jai.
Prasadam. We have a good news to announce. Our Prasadam distribution is going on very nicely. Every Sunday we are doing about 500 plates of Prasadam.
Hari
Uh,
Bol.
Hari Bol.
Very nicely going on.
Yes, yes.
So,
Thank you, Prabhu ji, for sharing. And if anybody would like to contribute for Prabhuji's project, please go ahead and send some contribution to Prabhuji. I'm going to send some.
you have to give them my email. If you want to contribute in a tax exemption in America, we have a I have a friend of mine who has a tax exemption trust. You can send it to him and he will send it to me. That is not a problem. But you get income tax exemption in America.
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
So
That
Savita Mataji can share it with us.
yes, Mataji will share because I inspired by you. You was telling that your salary was 400 rupees, but you was contributing 100, the one fourth of your salary. So that is so inspiring, Prabhuji.
What is it, please? I don't understand.
You mentioned in your class that your salary was 400 rupees, but you was contributing 100 rupees.
100 rupees.
Yes, so that is
Yes, yes,
inspiring. So yes, so I would like to send some, Prabhuji.
yes. Because I
Correct.
was not married, so I didn't have to exactly.
Yes, Prabhuji, whatever.
Alrighty, then I wish you a
This
nice.
so
I
this
wish you a
prasadam
nice.
in Mayapur, Prabhuji.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I went to Godrumdeep in the place of Swarupganj, Godrumdeep, where Bhakti Vinod Thakur's bhajan kuti is there. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah, I will send all the details to Shyam Rasika. You can get in touch with her and she will. And
Thank you,
if it is
Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
if you come to get tax exemption in America, you can send it to this particular trust.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hari
Hare
Bol.
Krishna.
Hari
Thank
Bol.
you.
Hari Bol.
Thank
Hari
you,
Bol.
Nitya Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.